someone asked me last week to speak something about Radharani's qualities. And they asked me to speak about a particular quality of Radharani. So we know that Radharani has she has unlimited qualities in unlimited proportions and expressions. Rupa Goswami and Bhakti Sindhu, he lists 25 as the major qualities of Radharani. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Of those 25 qualities, which is the first quality that Radharani showed to the world? What's the first quality that Radharani displayed to the world? On your thinking caps.
She's full of love.
That's the quality. That's not the first quality that Radharani showed to the world, which is the basis of everything.
She attracted Krishna.
What?
That she attracted Krishna.
Yes, she does that. What's the answer? Oh, it's not. What's the first quality of Radharani's 25 qualities that she showed to the world? The very first quality. Krishna Sharanam. Sri Krishna Sharanam. Very good. Taking shelter of Krishna. Wrong. Do you know?
She controls Krishna.
She hasn't even met Krishna. How does she control him?
With her love.
I know that. The very first quality that Radharani showed to the world is what?
Compassion,
What?
love, compassion.
Oh, love, compassion. Love. We're going to talk about love. There's no love in this world. What are you talking about?
Mercy.
Lajja. Lajja means shyness. That's the very first quality that Radharani showed to the world. What is the Leela? What is the Leela that describes this quality of Radharani showing Lajja to the world? And for showing this quality, she's known as Lajeshwari. If somebody asks me a question, can you say something about why Radharani is called Lajeshwari? So our Croatian artist, or Russian artist, whatever she is, Shamapriya Dasi asked this question some time ago, and now we're answering it today. Hi, Shamapriya, if you're there. If you're not, wake up. Anyway, so shyness. So what's the pastime that she showed this first quality to the world? Radhastami, Radharani's Janam. When Radharani was born, she didn't open her eyes. Her eyes were closed because of shyness. She didn't want to see anybody, any Purusha of this world, or anyone of this world, even Purusha, Prakriti, Sri Radmi, man or woman, Parishad, anyone in this world, mother, father, brother, sister, anybody. She didn't want to see anybody until she had the feast of Krishna's Krishna's Nayanotsava Darshan, festival for the eyes. Her eyes were closed. And we see in the old culture of India, shyness was the primary quality of a woman. Shyness is like the queen wears a crown on her head, the king wears a crown on his head. The crown on the head of a woman, the main jewel in the crown on the head of a proper cultured woman is lajja, shyness. And it's all gone out the window now. That's very good. So all shyness is trampled under the feet of modern women. They take shyness and they wipe it on the ground with their feet. They don't want any shyness at all. They have to be bold, outspoken individual, courageous, aggressive, powerful, audacious. This is the description of modern women. This is not the description of Srimati Radharani. She's the Lajeshwari Radharani. That's one of her 25 qualities. So she kept her eyes closed. Her hands were closed. She didn't want to touch anyone until she could touch Krishna. So we see in ancient Indian culture, women had this quality of shyness. When I first came to India in 1977, then again in 1985, 86, I traveled all over India, from Badrinath to Cape Comorin and to Kanyakumari. I took a boat out to see the Vivekananda's rock in Kanyakumari, where Vivekananda attained enlightenment, off the southern tip of India. So I went from the northern part of India, Badrinath, Himalaya Mountains, down to off the coast of South India, the very tip of that South India called Cape Comorin or Kanyakumari. I went from east of Jagannath-puri to west of Dwarka and everywhere in between. I took sannyas in 1985 in Mayapur, and I took my danda and my joli and my trunk, my metal trunk with my wheels, like airport wheels, the luggage carrier. And I had all my books in it. I dragged it all over India, everywhere I study and sightsee and see all temples and everything. See. So as I moved around India, I mostly went on train or buses. I didn't have any money to fly. I went everywhere on trains and buses, like the basic poor person in India. And what I saw when I moved through the villages is this quality of shyness. If you're walking down the street in some village, and there's a young lady, any lady coming the other direction, from 200 meters, 300 meters away, you can both see each other. You can see each other, you can see that that's a woman, she can see this is a man or a sadhu. And she starts looking down at the ground from 200 meters away. 200, 300 meters away. Indian woman in 1985, 86, when I toured all over India by myself, I saw that experience. They would see that I would see them for 200 meters away or so. They would see me, then they would look down. And they would keep looking down, and I wasn't looking down because I'm not an Indian woman. I don't have that quality. So I was just observing. I said, what's she looking for? Was she draw something? And I saw it everywhere. I realized this is her lakshana, this is her lacha, this is her shyness. And she looked all the way down until she passed me. I went down some 20 meters beyond me. I turned around to see what she's doing now, and she lifted her head up. She wasn't looking down at the ground anymore. So this is lacha. You missed a question. I asked a question. Radharani has 25 transcendental qualities. What is the very first quality she displayed to the world? So no one could guess. Everyone said 4 or 5 of the qualities of Radharani, but not the answer. The first quality Radharani showed to the world is laja. That's why she's known as Lajeshri, which means the queen of shyness. How did she display this quality? She displayed it at the time of birth. She kept her eyes not only looking down, but closed. She didn't want to see anyone. She didn't want to see any Purusha or Prakriti, any Stri or Admi, or any man or woman or father or mother, brother, sister. She didn't want to see anybody till she saw Krishna. So this is the ideal in shyness. Don't look at anyone except Krishna. Keep your precious eyes to have a Nayanotsav. It says when Krishna returns from cowherding, Ujjara goes to Lila, the gopis experience a Nayanotsav. Nayana means eyes, Nayana Viram. Nayana means eyes, and Utsav means festival. They experience a festival for the eyes when they see Krishna. And all the gopis stand on the rooftops of their palace, and they offer Krishna thousands and thousands of blue lotus petal garlands, blue lotus flower garlands. How do they offer Krishna blue lotus flower garlands while standing on the palace rooftop? Because their arms they're not Hanuman, they can't expand their arms 100 miles long. They're standing in the palace, saying, human-like qualities, Naralila. They're out there on the top of the palace, and Krishna's way down the ground going behind the cows. How do they offer them garlands? They offer garlands with their blue lotus eyes. all the thousands of eyes join together to make thousands of garlands. So thousands of eyes, the blue lotus eyes of the gopis, are offering blue lotus malas to Krishna as he walked by. And then they come to Bhagavan Shri Krishna ki Jaya Jaya Sri Radhe. So Radharani, not only from the time of birth, she displayed the quality of shyness. Laja became known as Lajeshwari. But every day she showed qualities of shyness. From the first time she stepped her foot out of her house in Barsana Yoga ground, in the house her head was uncovered. As soon as she stepped out of the house, she covered her head with her veil or some kind of cloth, and she would walk down the footpath from Yavat ground to Nanda ground, which some devotees have walked that footpath through the fields by Tirkadamba, etc. And she would walk down that footpath, which people were going in other directions. And Radharani would walk on the far left of the footpath, far away from the center, way to the left of the footpath, because Indian people go on the left, traffic goes on the left. And all the Sakhis would be on the right hand side, and she would be looking towards the forest on her left. And anybody coming the other way, they would see this lady with her head covered looking like this. This is describing Govinda Lilamrita. And then as soon as she got away from the main road leading out of the village, entered into the forest between Nandagram and Yavat or Barsana. And there was nobody around, just the Sakhis and peacocks and parrots and monkeys, of course. Can't forget that. Monkeys and deer, and then she put her Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna, and she'd be in ecstasy, So this is Radharani, always shy. Such a beautiful quality. You don't see it anymore. That's I said that's the jewel on the crown of a cultured woman. The jewel on her crown, the queen wears a crown on her head. The jewel on the crown of a cultured woman is shyness, laja. So this file is about, somebody asked me a question, can I say something about why Radharani is called Lajeshwari? So what we did. Jai Jai. Now, really nice. Thank you. So Radharani is like that. So if someone asks me a question, same person, artist person, we heard her son, the Radharani plays Krishna's flute. Is there anywhere described, and I can read more about how she plays and what's the effect when Radharani plays the flute and what happens. So if you search our Goswami books, you don't find any pastime. I asked my teacher about this same question. My teacher said, if you search the Bengali pada means poetry by Bengali Rasik Vaishnavas, devotees around Krishna, Chanidas and Vidyapati and so many, Govindadas and so many hundreds of others. If you search the poetry, the Bengali poetry, you'll find so many bhajans describing Radharani playing the Vamshi. Vamshi Dharani, Vamshi Dharani Radharani. Murli Dharani Radharani Ki Jai. So, I'm going to answer this question on the basis of a pastime I heard told to me when I took a tour of Nidhivan, which is in Vrindavan, near Radha Raman temple. And Nidhivan is famous for being a bhajan style of Swami Haridas. I saw on the internet someone had an article about Bhakti Vihari and Haridas, and they kept calling him Haridas Thakur. I wrote a comment, I said, it's not Haridas Thakur, it's Swami Haridas. Please get your facts straight. They're Gaudiya Vaisnava. They're probably from IGM or somewhere, most likely IGM affiliated. IGM and its affiliates. And so they said like that. I wrote, I didn't see any other comments on that. So this is the Prakat Stali of Sri Banki Vihari Lal Ki Jai. Swami Haridas Jiva Ki Jai. So when one takes a tour of Nidhivan, you will see that Ranga Mahal, which is where Radha and Krishna sleep after Raslila and have different pastimes, Rati Keli and other Jo pastimes throughout the Nisha Lila, Ratri Lila. And also there's a small temple. I haven't been there in quite a long time. I think there's a new temple. Someone told me there's a new temple, only Radharani, I'm not sure. But I'll show you a picture of that small temple. And I think you'll be able to figure out what's going on by this picture. You'll be able to understand. You can show this on your camera. Our technicians here, we have imported technicians from Russia. This is Russian film company. This is a big picture here on your left side. This is Radharani playing the flute. Murli Dharani Radharani Ki Jai. Namshi Dharani Radharani Ki Jai. And on her right hand side, Radharani's right hand side, is Lalita. Because she's senior by age, 27 days older. Born in Shravanamas Shukla Ekadasi. Not Lalita Satani. According to Rupa Goswami, Radha Krishna Shivya. So there's, and then the left side, as always, is our Vishaka Saki Ki. They have a good picture of that, you can see that? Okay, good. Everyone else got to see? Jayo. I don't know that same temple is there. I think there's just a temple of Radharani playing the flute now. Big marble. I don't know. I have to go and find out. That's an investigation for Vrindavan team.
It's called Vamshi Chori Radha. The temple of.
Is it just Radharani?
Vamshi Chori.
I'm asking for new murtis or these kind of old fashioned?
Same.
Oh, Vamshi Chori Radharani. Well, that's the best time. Radharani's always stealing the flute. So she wanted to know train Leela, so I can tell the Leela that I heard when I went to visit that temple with one Brijvasi Brahmin friend of mine. This was told to me long ago. So when Radharani was sleeping with Krishna in Ranga Mahal in Nidhivan, it was getting close to sunrise. The Surya Abhas was evident in the sky. With some light. Abhas means the first appearance of light before you see the sun planet. Before sunrise, there's an Abhas. That's called Surya Kiran Abhas, the reflection or the semblance of the rays of the sun planet. So she saw us like that, and Krishna was totally asleep. He's totally out. He was knocked out because, you know, he's not so strong, you know. You know, Radharani complains from Radha Mahimamrita. There's a verse where she complains for Sakhi Manjris about Krishna. Everybody heard. So she says, here's the opportune time. Because you want to steal, someone should be very sleepy. You know, usually people rob at night, everyone's sleeping in their bed. It's called a cat burglar. The American's called cat burglar. Because when cats walk, they walk very quietly. They don't look like dogs. Dogs walk too, not make too good noise. Cats have these very soft pads on their feet. And they go, doo, doo. They have to walk very slowly to catch the mouse is going to come out of the hole in the wall and go in the kitchen and eat the breadcrumbs from your buckwheat bread. So the cat has to be quite attentive. And he can't make any noise otherwise, because a mouse has very thin ears. The mouse has very thin ears for hearing micro sounds, you know. So it's the mouse's ears versus the cat's paws. So he knows that's always going to come out here. And they're very patient. They're very good. They go like this. They shake their back a little bit, and stretch their back up. And then they flex their wrist and tense their legs. They had to pounce. They had to, wow. And there's also, I watch sometimes when I grew up with a cat. They're like really Dhyan yogis, you know. And then the mouse comes out. Bah! The rest is history. So that's jiva, jivasya, jivanam. One living entity is food for another. Hastani, sahastanam, avadani, chadusvalam, falguni, tachamatam, jivo, jivasya, jivanam. One person lives by eating, did eat, but doesn't eat carrots. And lettuce and cauliflower and green peppers and tomatoes and all that stuff. Now they also are sacrificing their life for us. So we're offering that to Krishna, he says. So the pastime was Radharani stole Krishna's flute. She's rightly known as Vanshachori. And she went outside the Kunja. Lalita and Vishakha is resting, leaning against the wall outside the Kunja door wall. Hey, wake up, look. They're totally tired. They're all dancing around tonight, and that Rasa dance. And Radharani said, look what I got. Acha. Okay, let's go. So all three of the Lalita Vishakha Radharani ran away and ran through all the kunjas and gullies, all that, in that Nidhivan. And he found some really secluded area with all shrubs and bushes and everything. And they sat there, and they just sat there on a branch of a tree was coming out. They didn't want to sit on the ground because the ladies. There's nice big, the trees and Nidhivan, they go like this, like that. That's so Ramakrishna can sit down here and there, and they wander. The tree goes like that. You can't sit on a tree like this. Trees going like this. How do you sit on a tree? They're not going to climb trees. They're not monkeys. So the trees, they bend down like this. They come out of the ground, they go like this, and they go upside. Perfect seats. So Radharani is sitting on a horizontal branch of a tree, and Lalita's on one side. And they just say, can you play that thing? I don't know, I never tried. She said, of course she can. She knows all, she's Sangeet Visharad. My Radharani Sangeet Visharad, she knows all Sangeet music, everything. Okay, I'll give it a try. And Radharani starts playing the flute. All the leaves on the tree starts trembling. Hey, look at that. Hey, something's happening. You got it down. So she plays some more, and some birds come and land in the trees nearby. Because usually what happens is at this time, because sunrise, birds fly into the kunja where she is with Krishna. But now Radharani's not with Krishna, but she's playing the flute like Krishna does. So all the birds start to gather in the trees around Radharani. That's good for Krishna, he can sleep longer. He's tired. So they start singing and she's playing the flute. They say, wow, now the birds come. And pretty soon a peacock comes and fans his tail, starts dancing around. He said, wow, you really got it good, keep going, go. He's going like this, like that. And then some deer came in. Rangini and Tandavik or whatever, Rangini, Saranga, Rangini. And he started prancing around, looking like real happy, looking all right. I said, all right, when you play the flute, it has all the same effects as Krishna. So there's a kund inside of Nidhivan named Vishakha Kund. And in Seva Kunds, there's a kund named Lalita Kund. equal time. That's not Nidhivan. So Vishaka's Kunj is in Nidhivan. So he said, we read and we even seen when we saw when Krishna plays the flute, the Yamuna goes backwards and the water in the lakes and rivers freezes. Let's see. So they walked over to Vishaka Kund, Radharani's playing. They looked down at Vishaka Kund. Oh, look, the water's frozen. There's some swans there, and they get stuck. Their feet are stuck. They can't move. they can't swim. Their feet are stuck in the frozen water. Play another tune. I don't know. Come on, you gotta get unstuck. So I said, okay. So and then the water came out. Right, you play the flute just like Krishna. Everything, same thing happens when you play the flute and Krishna plays the flute. So that's the Leela. So someone asked me, can you explain what happens when Radharani plays the flute? When Radharani plays the flute, the same thing happens when Krishna plays the flute. Because the flute is an independent entity. And it's a Sakhi of Krishna. Vamshi is female, Murli is female, and Venu is male. So the male flute is for males. But Krishna plays the Venu for his coward boys. When he's calling gopis, he plays Vamshi. Vamshi's a Sakhi. And Murlika is a Sakhi. He plays a Murli, that's female, gender. So, Radharani doesn't play Venu. She plays Vamshi. Vamshi Chori. Murli Chori. You say Vamshi Chori. So this is the answer. Someone said, can you describe what happens when Radharani plays the flute? And the same thing happens with Krishna. Because the flute has its own characteristics. And anybody picks up the flute, if they have love for Krishna and love for Radharani, the flute will do the same work. So when Krishna plays the flute, he loves Radharani, and the flute acts the same way. When Radharani plays the flute, she has love for Krishna, and the flute does the same activities. So if you pick up Krishna's flute, if you have love for Krishna, the flute will do the same thing for you also. You may have to wait a few years to get that opportunity. Pick up Krishna's flute. Maybe Radharani will steal Krishna's flute, Vamshi Chori Radharani, and say, Sakhi, hide this under your dress, hide this in your bani. Jaya Jaya Sri Radhe. So that's the second file for today. So I did my homework from last week. Somebody had some questions. Now, new questions. Bhagavati.
Maybe I have a question, Raj, about Radharani also. When Radharani faints, are there in different situations the Sakhis sing different songs to awaken her, or what do they exactly sing when she's fainting in different situations?
I heard part of it, I didn't hear the whole thing. When Radharani comes, when Radharani's Janam, appearance.
Faints.
When Radharani,
When Radharani is fainting, in different situations, do the Sakhis sing special
yeah, when
songs?
Krishna leaves to go char in the morning, she faints, Yashoda faints, everybody faints. So when Radharani faints, what's the question? What does she see, what does she do?
No, do the Sakhis sing specific songs in different situations, or what they exactly sing in that moment?
Yeah, of course. The question is to the Sakhis and or Manjaris, as the Manjaris are also trained by Radharani to sing different bhajans and songs at different times. So the Sakhis and Manjaris chant different songs in different situations and different leelas for Radharani. Of course, there's Man Banga songs, there's Murcha Banga song. Murcha means fainting. So there's Murcha Banga means to break the fainting. Man Banga Radharani is in jealous anger of another Sakhi. So then the Sakhi has to sing Man Banga Bhajan. The Bhajan will break Radharani's man. So I haven't read specifically what they sing, But generally what's described in the Shastra, when Radharani's faint, her Sakhis pick her up and drag her home. She's fainted, so like somebody faints in an assembly, a few people just carry the body out somewhere and try to revive them and bring them back to life. So that's what we read. We don't read it. They don't sit down. Radharani's lying on the ground. Okay, get your Veena, get your Esaraj, just sing a song. They remove the body from the battlefield. The battlefield of Leela battlefield. They take the body off. First they take her back to Yamat. They take Radharani back home to Yamat or Barsana, wherever she came from. And then they sing the appropriate songs and cover with sandalwood pulp and all kinds of things. And there's all kinds of bhajans in the Bengali pada, and the Bengali bhajans about all these leelas. Goswamis, they were mostly writing Tava and leelas. They weren't writing so much about songs. We don't see so many songs. They wrote poems, and poems can also be songs. We say Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. That's a poem in Sanskrit. We sing it as a bhajan. That's why Rupa Goswami. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Everyone knows that song. So all of his poems are like songs. But specific bhajans is a speciality of the Bengali Gaudiya Vaisnavas. Chandidas, Vidyapati, and Govindadas, and so many hundreds of them. I said once before, there's a songbook in Bengali. It's called Padakavatru. It's like 4 inches thick. It's got 5,000 Bengali bhajans. 5,000 Bengali bhajans about Radha Krishna Leela. ISKCON Mayapur, they have a BBT there, they publish books there. They publish a Bengali bhajan book. That's 600 bhajans, 500, 600 bhajans. ISKCON publication. All the Babajis and sannyasis in Navadvip area and Bengali speaking area, they go to ISKCON to buy that book. That's a very nice question. You're a more musically oriented person. You also sing and play instruments. So that's a very interesting topic for you. There are definitely bhajans in Bengali about all these things. I'm not familiar with them. And that's all I can say on that. Nice question. You're a cultural person. That's nice. Cultural conquest. Yeah, your mandali. Mandali is about singing and poetry and acting, and so that's where your blood, that's where your talent, your many good qualities. Do your work, you're sleeping. Bad. Don't hit the microphone, don't hit her, don't hit the camera. Don't fall asleep. Questions? Yes, you had a question, sir. Go ahead.
Адик снеха. Как обрести снехатрику?
He's asking how to get this mood.
Радха снехатрику.
How to get the mood of Radha Adik Sneha? That's a good question. There's different types of affectionate relationships with Radharani on Krishna. There's Adik and Sama and Adik and Sama. There's extra and equal. There's Krishna Snehadik, Radha Snehadik, Sama Snehadik. Some gopis have equal affection for Radha and Krishna. The Kinkaris, the Dasis, Kinkaris, the Priya Sakhis and Nitya Sakhi category of the 5 Sakhis. Nitya Sakhis and Pran Sakhis, they're sometimes called Dasis or Kinkaris or Manjaris. Most of them have a type of affection of Radha Snehadik. So how do you get the Radha Snehadik? How do you get anything? You get something you want from someone who has it. So by like if somebody has some money and you want to get it, you meet them and associate with them and make friends with them, please, and maybe they'll give you some money. So you want to develop Radha Snehadik, which is proper for Rag Marg and Manjari Bhava Vasana. You have to read the books that are written. You have to read the books of the 6 Goswamis that are manjaris that are full of Radha Snehadik. Like Vrinda Devi and Tanishta Sakhi. Everyone knows Vrinda Devi, the Devi, the goddess, Sakhi Radharani. She's Krishna Snehadik. She has more affection for Krishna, the Radharani, and Janishta has more affection. When you read Govinda Lila Amrita and Krishna Bhavanamrita, you often see where Tulsi Mandri, who is also called Raghunath Das Tulsi Mandri, he's playing with Krishna. He meets Krishna. Krishna's there. Krishna's there. Subhal's there. Madhamangal's there. And then Tulsi Mandri's there. Brinda Devi's there. And maybe some other Mandri Sakhi. And so Krishna says, where's Radharani? Is Radharani coming to Radha Kunda today? And so then Tulsi Mandri says, no, Radharani's locked in the house in Yavat Gram by Jatiyosh. There's no way she's coming out. You're not meeting her today. Subhal, Mother Mongol, what to do? Excuse me. So there, Krishna's very unhappy. Krishna's very happy Radharani's not coming today. So then, she said, why is she coming? He said, well, her mother her mother-in-law is keeping her back. And besides that, she doesn't want to see you. Why? She doesn't want to see me? Why? Yeah, last night you stood up, you were late. So she's still angry from last night. Oh, really? Oh, but I finally came to meet her right before sunrise. I came, doesn't that count? And so Tulsi Mandri is really torturing Krishna. She wants to see Krishna burn in anxiety and wants to see how eager Krishna is to attain her Swamini Radharani, Tulsi Mandri. Now, while this is all going on between Tulsi Mandri, Tulsi Dasi, and Krishna, Brinda Devi is getting very angry. Why is she speaking like this to Krishna? Why is she torturing my Krishna? Because he's Krishna's Snehati. And Swami said, hey, Tulsi Mandri, what are you saying? Why are you so cruel to Krishna? So when you read that passage and go into the Amrita, if you're not familiar with the different snehas or the different psyches, you won't understand what's going on. So that's why I'm explaining to you. Because then you know why Brinda Devi is so favorable towards Krishna, because he's Krishna's Snehati. She has more affection for Krishna. And why Tulsi Mandri is torturing Krishna, because she's Radha's Snehati. So you want to know about Radha's Snehati, you can read about Tulsi Mandri, read the books of Raghunath Das Goswami called Stavavali, and the books of Rupa Goswami called Savamala, and Dankeli Chintami, Dankeli Kamudi, Mukta Charita. All the books of the six Goswamis, Vishwanath, Narottam, they're all full of Radha's Snehati. And Vrindavan Mamrita also, and Radha Sudanidhi also, and Vilab Kusumanjali also. And especially read them with commentaries. If the commentators are Radha Snehati Sakhi, which most often would make sense, it would be, not necessarily, like Sri Anantadas Babaji Maharaj, then you're going to, by the mercy of his association, his kripa, you'll get that more affection for Radharani, guaranteed. So the question is how to increase Radha Sneha, how to become more affectionate, or increase our affection for Radharani. Simple, follow what I said. We're warming up for Radhasini. It seems like every question is about all classes about Radharani. Because next Sunday is Radhasini. So I hope. Why are you doing that? Why are you going like this? You go like this, you go like this. It's a mudra, a special Russian mudra. In America means gold. You had gold in a football goal post. You know, you're gonna have sports matches. You know, they make the hand goes down like this, or he won the game. You won the game. Go. Goal. You hit the ball. Okay. What's the question? Way back there, yeah.
Yes, I want to. Question is about what is the. Can you elaborate about difference between Manjari and Searching? Like with Harivamsh, they have Radha Searching. So what is the difference between Manjari and Searching?
Nitai, Nimai, Jaya, Swagatam, Swagatam. So this devotee is asking a question, what's the difference between Manjari and Sakhi? Is that the right question? Asking a question, what's the difference between Manjari and Sakhi? What?
Manjari and Sahachari.
Sachari.
She's talking about the Harivamsh. They follow the process of Sahachari.
What's the question? I'm confused. What's the question?
What is the difference between Manjari and Sahachari? Because the Harivamsh follows the process of.
I'm not familiar with Harivamsh philosophy, so I can't comment. I can just say my understanding of Sahachari means a Sakhi, like Lalita Vishaka, Sakhi, they're called Sahacharis. They're Krishna's dearmost Sakhi Manjari, Sakhi lovers. The Manjaris in the Gaudiya conception, we have our Madhurya Rati. We have Madhurya Rati, means amorous feelings towards Radha and Krishna. It's called Tat Bhavichatmika. Tat Bhavichatmika. Our itch, our desire is to relish and experience the bhav, the feelings that Radharani feels when she's enjoying amorous pleasure, Rati Keli and Sambhog Vilas with Krishna, all the different forms of Sambhog Vilas. Jewel and Leela Jake, it's all different types of Sambhog. And Rati Keli are Prasanga Leela's most intimate amorous exchanges in Kunja Leela. So the Sakhis themselves, they have Sambhogichatmika. These are terms used by Rupa Goswami, Shri Rupa Goswami Padin, Ujjwala Nilamani, and Bhakti Rasrita Sindhu. Lalita Vishaka Radharani Chandravi, Shamala, Chitra, etc. They have Sambhogichatmika. Their whole Atma, their whole existence is made of desire to give happiness and pleasure to Krishna. And the Manjari, what we call Manjari, is a category of Sakhi. There's 5 types of Sakhis. Paramapresh Sakhi, Priya Sakhi, Sakhis, Paramapresh Sakhi, Pran Sakhis, Priya Sakhis. So the Manjari, what we call Manjari, is in the category of Priya Sakhi or Nitya Sakhi. It's different, Rupa Manjari and Tulsi Manjari and all these different Manjaris. So they don't have their personal intimate Sangha with Krishna. They don't have Kunjali with Krishna. They are Dasis of Radharani. She's Vrindavaneshwari. She's like the queen. She's Krishna's primary lover, and the Manjaris are assisting, bring Krishna Radharani, carrying notes, taking messages, making all the arrangements. So that's Manjari is not called Sachari. Sachari, from our definition, from Gaudiya conception, it's a full Sakhi. It's called Sachari. You understand what I said? Yes, you say yes. You want to ask something else?
Yes, I just wanted to ask you, like, about qualities of Radharani. I would like to know about.
Qualities of Radharani. Someone's asking a question about the qualities of Radharani. Rupa Goswami Pad and Bhakti Rasrita Sindhu, and also in Ujjwala Nilamani, he describes 25 qualities of Radharani. And he also mentions there that although she has listed as 25 qualities, she has unlimited qualities, uncountable qualities, and unlimited proportions. So he lists them one by one. Like Madhura is one quality. She's very sweet, and she's Guru Janarpita. She's worshipped by her. She worships her superiors. She's always respectful to her mother and mother-in-law, and worships them. And she's Krishna's primary lover, and she's praying Vasibhut. Praying Vasibhut means she controls Krishna with her love. Praying Vasibhut. Can you move over a little bit? I can't see the person right behind. She's praying Vasibhut, which means she controls Krishna with her love. No other Sakhi has that quality except Radharani. These are distinguishing qualities of Radharani. And she's Lajeshri. She's the queen of sweetness. Queen of shyness. So they're all listed there. And Ujjala Niyamani by Rupa Goswami. You can get those books in English, Hindi, Bengali, Sanskrit, and maybe other languages also. Ujjala Niyamani, and also Bhakti Rasini. You can read more on your own. I don't have a memory to remember all 25. I just gave you a few. Anyone want to add more? Anyone want to add some more qualities? You have it. You have a list there. Why don't you pass out the book? I'll read it because I have the microphone. You know? That's good. Thank you very much. It'll cause you so much trouble.
No.
Oh wow. Vaishnava Seva Namruchi Diva Doya. Yeah, I see it. I know that. Thank you very much. This is Ujjala Nilamani by Rupa Goswami Pad. This is in chapter 4, which the title of this chapter is Srimati Radharani. This is definitely Radhastami class, because somewhere in some universe today is Radhastami. Because every pastime of Radha and Krishna is eternal. It's going on right now. Radharani is appearing somewhere, and someone's giving a class on Radhastami right now. So somewhere it's Radhastami. So our chief qualities are here. This is in chapter 4 of Ujjala Nilamani. The title of the chapter is Srimati Radharani. She is very sweet, Madhuri. She's always freshly youthful. She has chapanga akshi. Her eyes are very restless. She has ujjala smita. She smiles very brightly. She has mangala rekha. The only English is here. I don't speak telling the Sanskrit also, what I remember. She has mangala rekha. She has auspicious lines in her feet and her hands. She has many auspicious lines and their mangala chinna also marks. She makes Krishna happy with her bodily aroma. Actually, the Sanskrit says, it says she makes Krishna happy with her bodily aroma. The Sanskrit quality is Madhav Gandhan Unmadita. Gandha means fragrance, Gandha. Unmadita means makes him mad. Krishna becomes mad by the natural fragrance of the body of Radharani. In Swargaloka, in the higher heavenly planets, the bodies of the men and women, they smell like lotus flowers. You smell their skin without perfume, makeup, and cologne and all that stuff. It smells like lotus flowers. This is heaven, the heavenly women, Gandharvas and Gandharvas, men and women. So imagine what Radharani smells like. Madhav Gandha Unmadita. She makes Krishna mad with her bodily fragrance. English is not so good. She's Sangeet Vishard. She's expert in singing. Her speech is charming. It's called Manju Vak. Manju Vak. Vak means speech, Manju means charming. Manju Vak. Radharani's Narma Supandit. Narma Supandit. Narma Pandit means she's an expert Pandit in joking and speaking pleasantly. She's Vinita. Vinita means very humble and meek. She's Karunamayi. Karunamayi Radharani ki. Yeah. We all know very well about the Karuna of Radharani. That's Radharani's 11th quality. She is Vidagdi. She's very clever. It's translated here as cunning. Cunning is the wrong word. It's a negative connotation. It's not. She's clever. 13. She's expert in her duties. It's called Daksha Karta Daksha or something. External duties. She's shy. She's always respectful. She's always calm. That's pretty unusual. If I had a woman who's always calm. Always calm. She's always grave. And she's extra enjoying life. Alright. She's situated at topmost level ecstatic love. She's reservoir of loving affairs in Gokul. Radharani is the most famous submissive devotees. She's very affectionate to elderly people. She's very submissive to love of her Sakhis. She's submissive to the Sakhis' love, but not to Krishna. She controls Krishna with her love. The Sakhis' love, she submits to the Sakhis' love. Lita Sakhi says, you show Man and don't give up Man until I give you permission. You reject Krishna, show Krishna unfavorable, contrary mood, and don't give up this unfavorable, contrary mood until I give you permission. Yes, Lita Biti Manini, Lita Vita Manini. She shows Man out of fear of Lita. Lita Viti Manini. She is a chief gopi, and she always keeps Krishna under control. In short, Srimati Radharani possesses unlimited transcendental qualities of form, mind, and words. Jai Ho, passes back to that gentleman. Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Shah. Okay, wake up, Jijago. Sleeping. Question. Any next questions?
Yes, there is one.
Ramacharya Baba has a question?
Yeah.
Okay, Bolo.
One time I listened one lecture of some Russian devotee about what Radharani experienced when she cooked for Krishna, cooking breakfast. He said about that that Radharani become like very hot because of emotions, even oven cooling her, because she's more hot than even ovens. She said that Radharani feels so much emotion that other Sakhis support her, otherwise she faints, like lay down, or fell down. So after I hear this, like so much emotions that Radharani experienced in this lila, but when I read Ashtakali Lila, I not read like such a detailed information about emotions. So maybe there is some commentaries that describe Ashtakali Lila like more emotions, what actually going on, what Radharani feels, what Sakhi feels, what Krishna feels.
So he's asking a question about Radharani's experience of different emotions and different types of loving ecstasies in the course of her relationships and pastimes of serving Krishna. And specifically he mentioned the Leela of Radharani cooking for Krishna, which she does many times throughout the day and afternoon and early evening. And he mentioned that what he read in the known Astakaliya Granthas, like Govinda Vidyalamrita, Krishna Bhavanamrita, Bhavadasara Sangra, Krishna Kumudi, Govinda Gutika, other books that are available in different languages. He's read that and he doesn't see the minute or extensive descriptions of Radharani's emotional responses and experiences that were described by this devotee when he was narrating the same Leelas. So his question is, are there commentaries on these Leelas which we can read? There are commentaries on the Leelas, by different acharyas and Rasik Jans. But I want to make a point here which is relevant to everyone. The Leelas are described by our Goswamis or anyone describing Leelas, give you a general idea of the Leela. This Leelas are going on. And so now what one will experience by reading a particular Leela depends on a lot of factors. Depends on the degree of his knowledge of Rasa Tattva. Rasa Tattva is a deep science with many varieties. You read Ujjvala Nilamani, you get an idea of how many varieties of nayakas there are, and nayaks and nayakas, and so many, 360 types of heroines, and it's a highly developed theology of Ras and exchange of love between Radha and Krishna. Gaudiya Vaisnava Shastras, Gaudiya Sampradaya has many detailed Shastras. So if one studies, in order, Leela is a collection, it's the epitome, to fully appreciate Leela, one should have knowledge of Sahitya, means literature. One should have knowledge of Sanskrit grammar, Vyakaran. One should have knowledge of Kavya, Sanskrit poetry. One should have knowledge of Tattva philosophy, and one should have knowledge of all rasas. So many branches and types of knowledge are required. That's the foundation of Tattva to understand any Leela you're studying. Now to have experience of that Leela, it's called Anubhav. Anubhav means experience. Now the experience of any given Leela depends on the degree and depth of one's bhakti and devotion. When a Baba Bhakta reads the Leela, for example, there's a pastime in Sevakunj. Rupa Goswami is in Sevakunj, and other devotees were there. And there was Hari Katha going on in Sevakunj on the courtyard of Radha Damodar temple. And some devotee, probably Raghunath Bhatta would speak to Bhagavatam. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami was speaking to Bhagavatam. And many great saints were sitting in the assembly. Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, etc. Jiva Goswami. And everyone was sitting there, and they were listening to the Leela, and they're very advanced devotees. They're all Krishna Prema Bhaktas or Baba Bhaktas. They're hearing this description of Leela by Raghunath Bhatta, and they were crying. Their hair was standing on end. Some of them were trembling, shaking, and they were experiencing different sattvic vikars, sattvic vikars, crying, perspiring, sweating, trembling. And they looked to see what Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami looked like he was in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Rupa Goswami looked like he was in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. His eyes were totally closed. He was standing totally straight. His eyes were closed. His mouth wasn't moving. There wasn't no crying, no tears falling down his face, no trembling, no obvious signs, external signs of sattvic vikar, transformation of ecstasy, visible on his body. They said, what's with Rupa Goswami? So someone took some little cotton wool, little cotton wool, like when you have a wound, you clean, and they put it by his nose to see if he was breathing, because they thought he was so immobile, it looked like he was locked in some nirvikalpa samadhi, or maybe even dead, left his body. They didn't know. So he put this little cotton, and it was moving very slowly. He was taking one breath every 5 minutes, inhaling, exhaling. Because he had left his body, entered the Prakriti, the Leela of Radha and Krishna. The very Leela was being described by Raghunath Bhatta. Rupa Goswami left his plane on his subtle body. He entered that Leela. So he was having the greatest experience of the Leela Katha of Raghunath Bhatta more than anybody else, because everybody else was still in their body. He left his body. He totally left his body and went in his subtle body, man, buddhi, hankar, chitta, and everything. He went out entered the spiritual realm, entered the apricot Leela. So your experience, your anubhav of Leela, Askala Leela, will depend on the degree of your bhakti, and if you may have a lot of bhakti, but you don't have any training or understanding or knowledge of rasa, you won't get much experience of the rasa kavya, rasa poetry, rasa sangeet, rasa songs, or rasa leelas. So you're mentioning some of the way that's describing Radharani's cooking and having these different emotional experiences which you didn't read. So those may be byproducts of his leela dhyan. That the way may be very advanced, I cannot make any judgment, it's not my role to make judgment. He's very advanced and he was meditating the leela and he saw those different things and he shared them with his devotee, with other devotees. So that's why there's always newer experience and expression of leela. But whenever there's a new expression or description of leela, there's two things that have to be cross-examination of that statement, those statements of the person. Someone's saying something amazingly new, some new expression of leela, Radharani's emotional experiences. We have to see if it meets these two categories. If it meets these two categories, we'll accept it as his anubhav, as a real experience, and has some validity. Some validity means value, truth. It's valid, or we'll reject it. So the two categories are: is it Siddhanta Virud, and is it Rasa Vas? Is it a wrong mixture of rasas called Rasa Vas, or is it Siddhanta Virud? Virud means against. It's the wrong spiritual tattva. Person speaking wrong tattva, then be rejected. But if the Siddhanta is correct, and it's in agreement with the teaching of the six Goswamis and Bhagavatam, etc., then we can accept the tattva Siddhanta part. And the rasa is not rasa vas, we can accept it. So when someone's speaking something new we haven't heard before, haven't read before, we measure by these two categories and can decide to accept it and share it with others. Thank you for your question. Is that clear? That's the beauty of Hari Katha. Things, when advanced speakers speak Hari Katha, new things come out. Based on anubhav and experience of the devotee and the depth of bhakti. Some other question?
Net question from my friend I have.
Okay.
She is asking how to balance bhakti with family life, because if she
How what?
how to find balance between bhakti and family life, because if she do,
Bhakti and family life.
if
I don't know. I'm not married.
if she
I talk through my hat. I get. Don't get married. You get married, everything's out of balance anyway. Where's the balance in married life? Men and women are equal, so how do you have balance? Balance means this. You put a man on one side of the scale, one on the other side. They're not the same weight. Not the same emotional weight, not the same physical weight, not the same mental weight. So there's not going to be balance. One's going to be heavier than the other. You say, how do you get balance? The question is, how do you get balance in bhakti and family life? The answer is you don't. You can't. It's impossible. Leave your husband, leave your wife, leave your kids with your grandmother, and do bhakti. That's a fanatical answer. Otherwise, you can try for 100 lifetimes to create balance. You'll never create balance. So you might hit your head in the wall and expect to spit out almonds, you know. Dunk, dunk, poo, poo. That's a crazy question. Anybody asks a question like that has a vat rog. Vat rog means disease of the life heirs. There's pitta rog, kapha rog, and vat rog. Anyway, asked the question, how do you attain balance between family life and bhakti? That person must be crazy to ask that question. I've never seen it yet. It's impossible. They're totally incompatible entities. Bhakti is pure loving service to Krishna, and family life is Maya. Family life is just karmic trading. Think about it. You're trading, family life, husband and wife are trading in the karma stock exchange. You try, like Prabhupada said, you try to make the best use of a bad bargain. The wife got a bad bargain with the husband, and the husband got a bad bargain with the wife. You want to use car, you try to keep it running somehow or other. So married life is like buying a used car. You try to keep it running somehow or other. All glory to all the married people of the world. May you live long and strong, be happy forever. Sarva Sukhino Bhavantu. Sarva Nirmaya Bhavantu. Sarva Mangalam Bhavantu. Ayushman Bhavatu. May you live a long life, may you be happy. What am I supposed to say? I'm supposed to give 3 cheers for family life? Come on. Prabhupada said that, make the best use of a bad bargain. That's, like Prabhupada once in New York, he said, he was sitting there in a conversation with a group of devotee men and devotee ladies. He said, Prabhupada said, I want all the men here to stay brahmachari. And all the men said, Jai, Jai. So then he said, I want all the women to get married. And so Radharani raised her hand. He said, wait a minute. All these guys that are friends and devotees and nice people, all these men you're telling us to stay brahmachari. That's okay, good for them. But you're telling us all to get married. Who are we going to marry, Prabhupada? He said, who are we going to marry? Prabhupada said, Krishna will arrange. And so one by one, each brahmachari got married. This one this year, this one 2 years, and this one 3 years, 4 years. And by 10 years, all of them were married. They had to bring in some devotees from Russia to run the temple, In America. All America's Russian devotees running the temples. There's no American devotees in America. They should call it ISKCON Russia, LA, ISKCON Russia, New York, ISKCON Russia, Florida. Every ISKCON temple is all Russians. Russian manpower, Indian money. All right. Indo-Ruski joint venture. Jaya Radhe. Question. Yes, sir.
I have a question, but I hesitate to ask, but I will try. What's the difference between Tapta Kanchana, Lalita Kanchana, Galita Kanchana? Because in English, same translation, melting gold, the color of melting gold, always color of Srimati Radhika.
What's the question? What's the color of Radharani?
It's written. Tapta Kanchana, Gaurangi Radha Vrinashari is the color of Srimati Radhika, Tapta Kanchana. Then Lalita Kanchana, in translation same, English translation same.
There's a prayer called Lalita Kanchana. That prayer is to Radharani, not to Lalita.
No. It's a color, name of color in Sanskrit.
Okay. People would translate Kanchana.
Yes, in English, same translation, but in Sanskrit, different words. I'm trying to understand what's the difference in these colors.
What is he saying?
He's saying that we say Tapta Kanchana, then it is Lalita Kanchana. Tapta Kanchana and Lalita Kanchana are holding same meaning.
In English, same translation.
Well, the thing is, like, if you have any experience of gold as an element gold, like gold ring, gold necklace, there's different colors of gold. There's copper colored gold, there's reddish gold, there's bluish colored gold, there's whitish colored gold, there's pale yellow gold, there's rich yellow gold. There's different colors of gold by nature. Depending where it comes from Africa, or it comes from, South America, or it comes from Mexico, or it comes from India. Gold mines, they have different colors. Because gold is pure gold is called 24 karat gold. If anything is not 24 karat, there's other metals mixed in. And how they make it 24 karat, they keep melting it and taking out the other metals. Gold in its original state is a mixture of different metals. And they become gold. In gold, they melt it. That's 10 karat gold, 12 karat gold, 14 karat gold, 18 karat gold, 20 karat gold, 22 karat gold, 24 karat gold. 24 karat gold is pure, so-called pure gold, but it's very soft, so it's not good for necklaces and stuff. So 18 or 20 is recommended. It's stronger if you have pendants and stuff. Ladies know all this stuff. Some people also, men also know. So, because when you read the Shastra, it describes the complexions. And we have a Shiva Pranali chart. So my Guru Sakhi is Gaur Rakta. He's reddish colored gold. He's reddish gold. And I'm gold. And then some are whitish colored gold. Like lightning is gold, but it's more white. Like light vidyut, lightning. So every Sakhi has different colored complexion. Like when they say Vrindadevi is red. So there's a deity coming on, and Vrindadevi is all red paint or whatever. Red. So she's not red. She's not like a fire engine, red. They say Vrindadevi is red, so they paint her red. She has reddish gold complexion, called Gaur Rakta. Gaur means goldish color, and Rakta means reddish. She's Gaur Rakta. Red, then there's copper, it's different color shades, different shades of gold, and Sakhis have different shades. All the Sakhis are basically golden color. And so there's different words for that. Gaur Rakta, Kanchan, different words. The translators are not very precise, so they just everything gold. They have to get some more Sanskrit dictionaries when they translate. Because different words to describe when they describe the complexion, the transcendental complexion of the bodies, transcendental bodies of the Sakhis or Manjaris. They use different words to describe. Like for example, there's a prayer called Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna. What's that? Pradipta Gaura Vigraha. It says about, there's one that describes a flower, Pradipta Gaura Vigraha. It mentions golden champak, lightning, you know that one? Tadit Suvarna Champaka, Tadit Suvarna Champaka. So these are three words to describe the golden color of Radharani. Tadit means lightning, vidyu. Tadit, Suvarna means gold, 24 karat gold. And Champak means a yellow champak flower. There's it's called golden champak. It grows in Bengal and Bombay. See in Bombay, very fragrant. Looks different kind. The center part of the flower looks like an ear of corn, like corn. Corn. The center part where the pollen is, looks like an ear of corn, and petals around it. Chadit Sivarna Champaka Pradipta Gaura Vigraha. Like that. So she's mixed of these three different colors. A little gold, a little yellow, a little white, a little whitish gold, a little yellow gold, a little gold. So those are three words describing three kinds of gold. Tadit gold, Swarna gold, and Champak gold. Jaya Radhe. It's a very beautiful spiritual world. Different color complexions, different color dresses, different color bhushan ornaments. It's a really beautiful scene. Like Krishna, when Krishna gets dressed up, he looks like an actor on a stage, you know. He got flowers in his hair and garlands of leaves and colored mineral powders on his forehead, his chest, and all kinds of jewels and gems. He looks really like some dramatic actor. So all the Sakhis also look like actresses or heroes or whatever. Manjaris also. Very colorful. Some manjaris have the color of their dresses is a purple cockatoo. Cockatoo. Cockatoo is a bird in Australia or Indonesia. Cockatoo. Look up in your Google. Purple cockatoo. It's kind of very beautiful purple color. The color of the birds, you see the color of birds, that's the color of the manjari's clothes and stuff. It looks like that. Flowers and birds, really bright colors. Purple cockatoo. So that's the only thing we can see. We see the color of that dress or that Sakhi manjari. Then we have to figure out some name so people can relate to what it looks like. So then we see that and we say, yeah, it's like that. It's like this. So question, Shivaji.
Maharaj, we have heard that to surrender to Krishna and start practicing bhakti is not the free will of the jiva. It's the mercy and free will of Lord Krishna and Guru. So on one side Krishna is saying Sar Dharman Parityaja. Krishna is putting on us to surrender. And on the other side we think we are listening that we don't have any free will. So
We don't have any what?
free will.
Yeah. So what's the question?
So I want to ask, so how one side Krishna is saying that you abandon all the religious principle and just surrender unto me. So Krishna is putting on the jiva to surrender, and one side we are listening at Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Latavi, and Guru and Krishna is bestowing mercy on the jiva.
So what is the question? I mean, I know everything you said. That's the basic philosophy. So what's the question you're drawing from this?
So is it?
Does jiva have free will, or what's your bottom line here?
Yes. How do we consider that we are holding any free will or we are holding any desires or anything like that?
It's another free will kind of question. Because Krishna says, surrender to me. So in the same chapter 18 of Gita, I think it's verse 14, if I'm not mistaken, 18 chapter 14 verse, talks about 5 factors of action. Any action, any movement, any speech, any movement, any action. There's 5 factors that are necessary for action. One is called a karta. Karta means the doer, means me on the doer. The other is indriya, means the senses. The other is prakriti, the world, the kshetra, the prakriti. And the other is chesta, the action. And the final one is daiva. Deva means Paramatma or Bhagavan. So nothing can be done. You have your body, you have your senses, and you have a place, and you do action. You do action in that place with your body and senses. You're the doer, you're the karta. But the ultimate sanction, the ultimate permission, the ultimate mover, the ultimate shaker or mover, as they say, is the Deva. He's Paramatma Krishna. So the free will is that you have free will to move within the context of these other factors. You have free will to move within the context of your sabab, which is told in the 18th chapter of Gita, verse 60. Arjuna says, I want to become a sannyasi. Krishna says, impossible. You'll be forced to act according to your nature. You want your free will say, I want to be a sannyasi. And Krishna says in 1860, you try to pretend to be a sannyasi, you'll be forced to act as such. You go into the forest, here's Arjuna. Arjuna's a sannyasi now. He throws away his bow and arrow, and he puts a deer skin on his body. He goes to sit under the tree and meditates. Oh no, Vasudeva, oh no, Vasudeva. So then some jungle, some aborigine person comes running by. help, help, tiger, tiger. Tiger chase me, tiger chase me. And Arjuna's sitting there, I'm a sannyasi, man. I'm Brahmasmi. I don't get involved. Tiger, I'm a Kshatriya. This guy's in trouble. He's calling for help. He looked at me and said, help me, help me. I'm Gaudiya Raj. And he goes out, he doesn't do anything. And the tiger comes and Arjuna grabs the tiger by his hands and kills him with his bare hands. This is Kshatriya. So you can't repress your nature. Very hard to change one's nature, impossible. Only Krishna can do it if he wants to. Usually doesn't bother. You're a dog, and you're born a dog, you live a dog, you die a dog. Yeah, a dog doesn't become a swan one day. So the same thing, a human being has some doggish qualities and swan-like qualities. So you have doggish qualities and swan-like qualities your whole life. But with your doggish qualities and your swan-like qualities, you try to do bhakti. That's the amazing thing. You get a dog to chant Hare Krishna, you get a swan to fly in the sky chanting Hare Krishna. So the bhakti is swatantra. No, because Krishna, because you said your opening question was kind of not exactly the right progression. You said Krishna, we surrender to Krishna, we do bhakti. That isn't what Krishna says at all. Krishna says surrender to the Guru. He doesn't say surrender to me first. Surrender to me, that's in the 18th chapter. What does he say in the 4th chapter? He says surrender to the Guru. You want to know me, surrender to the Guru. So Krishna is assuming by the 18th chapter, you already learned the lesson in chapter 4, you're already surrendered to the Guru. Now you're surrendering to the Guru, and you're a family man, you're doing bhakti. So when you get 18 chapters, just forget all your dharma. Forget all your street dharma, kula dharma, and just absolutely surrender me like the Braja Gopis. Sarvadharam Pratyaja Mamekam Shanam Braja. Braja means to go, to move, to go to Braj, become a Braja Gopi, which means Aryapatam Chahitva. I am Aryapat. The Gopis gave up the Aryapat. Aryapat means Kula Dharma, Sri Dharma, Patni Dharma, Pati Dharma, Sati Dharma. All that Dharma they threw away. Aryapatam Chahitva, Bejurma Kandam Padavim Shuti Rigyam. They gave up all kinds of dharma, all kinds of family dharma, karmas and dharmas because of Mukunda Bhajan, to worship Mukunda. That's the ideal example of pure bhakti, Braja Gopis. Sarvadharma Prityaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja. Take shelter of me like Radharani. If you're taking shelter of your life insurance policy and your retirement fund and your bitcoins and what else? Who knows what else you got? So the first thing is Guru. Bhakti begins with Guru, not with Krishna. Krishna in the heart directs you to Guru. You surrender to Guru. Guru Padashraya, Dikshati Shiksham, Vishram Bena Grasiva, Sarvardhanavarti. First steps of Bhakti. First step of Bhakti is surrender to Guru. Guru is Krishna, Krishna is Guru. There's no difference. But the proper way to say it, Bhakti begins with Guru, which means Krishna. Charimam Vijaniya, I am Guru. Yes, Yad Bhagavati, yes, Sat Bhagavati, 7th chapter Gita, 7th chapter Bhagavatam, 15th chapter, 26th verse. Yes, Sakshat Bhagavati. The Guru is directly Sakshat Bhagavan. Gyan Dipena Gurur Prade. Gyan Dipena Gurur Prade. That's the second line. Gyan Deep Guru Prade. Prade. The Guru gives the light of knowledge. Shastra Gyan. Bhakti Tattva Gyan. Prem Tattva Gyan. Nam Tattva Gyan. Vaishnava Tattva Gyan. Dham Tattva Gyan. All the tattvas the Guru writes about and speaks about and embodies those tattvas. So he's yes, Sakshat Bhagavati. He's directly Bhagavan. Statement of Narada Muni in 7th canto of Bhagavatam. So Bhakti begins with Guru. No Bhakti, no Guru, no Bhakti. Bhakti leading to Prem is only by the mercy of Guru. bhakti leading to a guru is bhakti without guru. You do bhakti without guru, you do bhakti proper, it'll lead you to guru. Bhakti without guru will not give frame. Bhakti with guru will give frame. Bhakti without guru will give guru. Nice formula. Bhakti minus guru gives guru. Bhakti plus guru gives frame. You got it? Got the mathematics? 1 and 1 is 2. All kinds of different looks at people look at what you say. Well, come on, man. You're throwing the fence. So that's going to C20 or something. What's happening now? Whole world's so rushed to movies. If you want to get around India, you should know 2 languages, Russian or Hindi was. Anything else but Russian and Hindi is useless over here, you know? Swiss, German, forget it. English, no luck. Russian Hindi, it rules this place, you know? That's Nice. That's the rust. Okay, let's come here and see. What's going on? Yeah, my battery's good enough. What's the time now?
5:23.
5:23. We're going to Nitai Dham. Kirtan, your front door. Nice. Question? Yeah, go ahead.
Maharaj, saints say that if you live in Brajmandal, anywhere in Brajmandal, even if you leave your body here, you get sakhis receiving you, like you get liberation, and then living here you get prem, but us, we are living outside. Some say that in your heart you can try to live in Braj, but if we can, like,
what's the question?
Yeah, how do we live in Braj if we are outside? If it is possible or not, or it's very painful to live outside, like when.
Okay. Question is, how do we maintain consciousness of Braj when we're outside of Braj? Jiva Goswami describes when he comments on Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasrita Sindhu. Rupa Goswami describes Panchanga Bhakti, the 5 most important limbs of Bhakti. What are the 5 most important limbs of Bhakti? Nam Sankirtan, Bhagavad Shravan, Sri Murti Puja, Shraddha Seva, serve the Murti, form of Krishna with great faith and love and devotion, and Vaishnava Seva and Mathura Vasastali, to live in Mathura Mandal Vrindavan. These are the 5 most important limbs of Bhakti. And commenting on that shloka, Jiva Goswami said, if one is not able to physically live in Vrindavan, one should mentally live in Vrindavan. How do you mentally live in Vrindavan? You always hear Hari Katha about Vrindavan and about books about Vrindavan and by Brijvasis who live in Vrindavan. And you always see pictures of deities in Vrindavan. You always pray to your favorite deities, favorite Thakurjis rather. Pray to your favorite Thakurjis in Vrindavan for the mercy. And especially pray to Gopeshwar Mahadev and Vrinda Devi that someday you can live in Vrindavan and do bhajan. This way, you're always remembering Vrindavan. And when you wake up in the morning, every day you should center your life around Vrindavan. Everything happens by attachment. If you're attached to your wife, nobody has to tell you how do I live in memory of my wife, how I live in memory of my wife throughout the day. It's easy. If you're attached to your wife, you'll think about her day and night. Where your thoughts go, where your attachment is. So if you're attached to Vrindavan, and Vrindavan devotees, and Vrindavan Thakurjis, and Vrindavan Leela Stories, then you'll always be thinking about those. I was reading about those, always looking at pictures. People in the West have their altars are like Vrindavan. Their rooms are full of pictures of Leela Stalis. I've seen devotees in the West. Some people, a whole room, every wall of the room is full of this wall is Varsana Leela Stali, this is Nanagram, this Radha Kunda Leela Stali. They have books and photographs, and so there's so many ways to stay in touch with Vrindavan. If there's no attachment, everything's artificial and doesn't go anywhere. Everything, all movement is based on attachment. So you want your mind and heart, your body goes wherever it goes according to your destiny. But your mind and heart, you want to move towards Vrindavan. That's what Krishna says, Braja. Braja, the word Braja means move. In Sanskrit, Braja means move. Because why is it Braja mean move? Because Vrindavan is a place where nomads live. Nomads mean, nomad doesn't mean crazy. It means a person who doesn't have a fixed home. He's a nomad. He wanders here and there. So Nanda Baba, he's a nomadic person. He doesn't have a fixed place. Sometimes he's living in Gokul. Sometimes he's living in Chandigarh. Sometimes he's in Nandagram. Sometimes in Kamvan. He just picks up he goes with his bulls and cows and wagons, his bale gutties, and goes everywhere, wherever good grass is. He's nomad. So wherever you go, you're a nomadic person. But your heart should always be in Vrindavan, if you have a heart for Vrindavan. People wear t-shirts, I left my heart in Vrindavan. That's the wrong thing. Your heart should be Vrindavan. Vrindavan should be, you should wear a t-shirt, Vrindavan is in my heart. Your heart should be in Vrindavan, Vrindavan should be in your heart. If you live in Vrindavan, it should be in your heart and mind. If you live outside Vrindavan, Vrindavan will always be in your heart, and your mind will be your job, your car payments, your bank loans, your kids' schools, your wife, your kids. That's your mind. Heart is a different territory. Radharani should control your heart. Everybody else control your mind and life. Your wife and family responsibilities will control your mind and life, but your heart should be controlled by Guru and Radha and Krishna. Amen. Om Tat Sat. Guys are not sleeping. Too tired. Hello, good morning. It's 5 o'clock, time to get up. Govinda Das Ji Maharaj, Prashna, awaited Krishna Baba. Question. Who's your hairdresser, Waita? Got a cool hairdo. Looks like a rock star. Right, sharp. What's he doing? Nonsense? I was going to do some more. Okay, good. Anybody else? Now Bobby has to say, Baba, Chandan Baba.
I don't have a good question right now. I kind of do, but it's
Okay, go back to
maybe
your...
for next class.
Okay, work on it. See you for next week. Thank you. Yeah, go in, G. Okay, Bolo.
In Radha Kunda, as I was reading different shlokas, my question is because Anantas Babaji is having, he is for Manjari Bhav Upasana, all the shlokas is bringing out Manjari Bhav, every shloka. That is because like that, or the whole picture is full of Manjari Bhav. That is why. Because every commentary is dancing. I want to ask this 6 o'clock time.
Okay, I think I got it. Nobody's asking a question. There's a book called Radha Kunda, which there's some debate about the authorship of that book. The Radha Vallavis say that their founder, Acharya Hari Katha, wrote that book when he was 6 months old in the cradle. That's in the biography of Hari Katha. That's quite amazing. Sanskrit, command of Sanskrit at 6 months old. But that's what they say. He was 6 months old and he wrote Radha Kunda. So we don't have anything to argue about that. But we are Gaudiya Sampradaya, we say Prabhupada Saraswati wrote it. And one of my gurus, my Guru Parivar, my Guru Parampara, Sri Prabhupada Gopal Swami, he was giving class on Radha Kunda in 1950 in Radha Damodar Temple in Sevakunj for 1 month. And as you know in Vrindavan, because he's a very ancient Sampradaya, Hari Katha Sampradaya, so there were many people from Hari Katha in the audience, because it was a very rasic class, a very learned person. He's a Vamsacharya. Prabhupada Ananda Gopal Goswami is a descendant of Sri Advaita Prabhu. So they asked him a question after class. They said, "Who's the author of Radha Kunda? Is it our Hari Katha, or is it someone else?" So he gave a very nice answer. He said, I don't know who the author is. Well, I'll give you an example to answer your question. If it's a hot day in June, and I'm walking through the country, and I'm very hungry, I'm very thirsty, and I'm in the country, I see a fruit orchard, and it's a bunch of mango trees, and they're full of mangoes, and all the mangoes are red and yellow, very ripe, and just begging to be picked and eaten. So I go there, and I pick the mango, and I hold up to my forehead and say, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri, or I just say, hey Bhagavan, accept this mango. Then I start eating the mango and start relishing the juice, the ras in the mango, the ras. I start relishing the ras. I say, this is really tasty. So I don't ask the question, who planted this tree? What variety is this? Alfonso mango? Is it Chosa mango? Is it what kind of mango? I don't know. I don't ask the question, what kind of mango is? Who planted the tree? I don't ask any question. I'm busy relishing the ras. So my dear friend who asked the question, I don't know who wrote it. I'm relishing the ras of this book. So the question is being asked about this book, Radha Kunda. There's 272 verses in the Gaudiya Sampradaya edition. In the Hari Katha edition, I think there's 270 verses. There's 2 verses or more in ours. Our version, or whatever you want to say. Our mango. Our mango and their mango. Whatever. So, there's a woman, famous Tikakara, Sri Anantadas Babaji Maharaj, wrote very rasic commentaries, Gaudiya Sampradaya Guru, wrote very rasic commentaries on Radha Kunda. So the question is asked, that every verse he wrote a commentary on, he draws the conclusion of Manjari Bhav, every verse about Manjari. So about King Kari's Manjari, Dasi's Radharani. So my question is every verse in the Radha Kunda about Manjaris, or is this the viewpoint of the Tikakara? So there's a Sanskrit term called Atmanam Manyate Jagat. Atmanam Manyate Jagat. Jagat means world, Manyate means thinking, and Atma means me. I see the world according to my own mind. Like if I'm a thief, I'm a professional thief. When I walk around, I see somebody, that guy's a thief. I think that guy's a thief. Wherever he looks, he sees thieves, because he's a thief himself. Like you wear yellow, if I wear yellow sunglasses, hey, you have jaundice. Hey, Krishna, you have jaundice. Your skin's all yellow. Your eyes look yellow. Look, stupid. Take out your glasses, will you? You put on blue glasses. Hey, you're Krishna. I put on blue glasses. You can't blue. You're blue. You must be Krishna. You're child center. So our vision of reality is colored by our mentality. Our vision of reality is colored by our mentality. You have a yellow mentality, you see yellow reality. So you have Manjari Bhav, Manjari Abhiman, Manjari Bhav, everything, everyone's a Manjari. Your grandmother's a Manjari, your grandfather's a Manjari, everyone's a Manjari. This is called Atmanam Manitejagat. So I asked this same question to my Guru Baba. I said, is every verse in Radha Sunni about Sakhi Manjaris? He said, no. There's about 60 verses about Manjaris. And to be more exact, there's 45 that are clearly about Manjaris. Because the words that indicate that it's only about Manjaris is in the Sanskrit. It says Anucharani, Anucharani, Dasi, Kinkari. These words, Kinkari, Dasi, Anucharani, Paricharani, Rahasya, Paricharani, Paricharani, Anucharani, Dasi, Kinkari. They all mean Dasi. They don't mean Sakhi Bhav. They mean Dasi Bhav. So out of the 272 verses, clearly without any argument, 45 are about Manjaris. At most 60, which is less than 1/4 of the book. But, we like it that way. We love it not that it's fun, it's commentaries. So we try to have his angle of vision and pray for his one drop of his Bhav. Radha Sunni ki jai, Hari Vansh ki jai, Prabhupada Saraswati ki jai. What's the time now?
5:38.
5:38. Sorry. Okay, Radha Sham. Okay, what's going on here? Oh yeah, Marlika. Go ahead.
I want to ask about Manjari and Sakhi translate.
Okay, Sakhi Translate. It's some new app, you get it on your phone, Sakhi Translation app. Download the app. Sakhi Translation, Russian, English. Jaya Radhe. The conference.
The question is, Manjari follows Radharani always, and someone are married, someone are not married. So how they can be married and to do service also?
Sometimes Radharani Yavad, sometimes Varshana, and Manjari following Radharani.
The question is, the Manjaris or the Sakhis, Sakhis, some are married, some are not married. Generally what we see in the Shastras is that all the Manjaris and Sakhis are married. the lady went, oh no. She had this, oh no. Russian version. She's a married person, by the way. She's married. Oh no. Her eyes went, oh no. Really? That's the bad news. But the good news is that their husbands are always in the goshala with the cows. Every night their husbands say, oh Patni ji, I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight because this cow and that cow is giving birth to a baby, so I have to be in the barn to help the delivery of the baby. Okay, no problem. You go, you say, so I'll see you tomorrow around sunrise or so. Okay, fine, perfect. Have a good time with your cows, bye. So Yogamaya arranges that every night, every cowherd man is in the barn. So what does that mean? That means every manjari and every Sakhi can sneak out of the house and meet Krishna and serve Krishna Radharani. That's one point. That's daily, every night. Now, seasonal. 3 months a year Radharani lives in Yavana. 3 months a year Radharani lives in Marsana. 3 months a year Radharani lives in Yavana. And 3 months a year she lives in Marsana. 6 months out of the year she lives in Marsana. 6 months she lives in Yavana. So, all the manjaris are born in Barsana. Or nearby. Munshagam, Anjankot, Raholi, Devaro, Kamai, etc. And they all get married and move to Yavana. So they have their relatives, their outlaws live in Yavana, and their in-laws their outlaws live in Yavana, and their in-laws and the relatives live in Varsana. So here's how it works. When Radharani's in Yavana, then the Sakhi manjaris are living in Yavana, and with Radharani in Yavana, no problem. When Radharani moves to Varsana, then the Sakhi manjaris tell their husbands and mother-in-laws, I'm going home to my mother's house for 3 months. So then the Sakhi manjaris say, take permission from their father-in-law, mother-in-law, and husband, I'm going to my mother's house. Okay, be a good girl. So they go and stay there for 3 months. Even today in the village of Braj, regularly daughters go home to their mother's house every month or every 2 months for some festival. Rocky they go for 1 week, and Joe and Leah they go for 1 week. Even today it happens. It's not like Russia. You get married, you're locked in a house like a prison for 35 years. 45 years. I've been married 45 years, 49 years. Oh my God. 49-year prison sentence. It's not like that in the spiritual world. Wherever Radharani is, the Sakhi manjaris are right there. 24 hours a day on call, seva. Husbands are always husbands in name only. That's the difference between this world and that world. It'd be nice to have a husband in this world, name only, but it's not that way. Here he has Nam, Rup, Gun, Lila. There he only has Nam. No Rup, Gun, Lila. Interesting question. So that sounds like a good proposal? Are you attracted by the offering? Husband name only, what's the problem, man? When I asked my Gurudev about, I said, Manjaris, what about marriage? He said there's no time for that. That's what I mean, they're 24 hours serving Radharani, they have no time for husbands. Husbands are all the time in the barn and the goshaw anyway. They have fun out there, they like it out there, And your husbands have like a cow brain, so they're good in the goshaw. Okay, right. We're running out of batteries here. Tape player and my speaker also. Net questions.
Yes.
Yeah, net questions. Here we go. Hare Sham.
Can you tell about your association with Srila Gaudiya Vaisnava, please?
My situation,
Association with Srila Gaur Govinda Swami. Can you tell about?
some devotee is asking about our association with Sripad Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj. Today is the Avirbhav Tithi of Sripad Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj. It's his appearance day, and all the devotees are celebrating. I can say that we're at Kripa Patra, we're a recipient of mercy from Gaur Govinda Swami. We had some personal association with him. We're good fortune, his kindness. We were living in Jagannath Puri sometimes in the summer for 2 months a year, back in 90, I don't even know when, I can't remember, 87, 88, 89, I don't know, it was way back then. And I had an idea because there was a temple in Puri, but it was way out in the forest somewhere, down near Choka Lake, way far away from the center of Puri. At that time, Puri's expanded quite a bit. There was an ISKCON farm project or whatever. But I wanted to start a temple on Chatikar Road, where all the action is, all the hippies, and there's a lot of action there. It's more central. I wanted to start a preaching center. So I went to Bhubaneswar to meet with Gaur Govinda Swami, present my idea because he was GVC or he was under Jaya Jaya Swami, whatever. So I met him, he encouraged me, he said, try for that, that'd be good. So I tried, but at that time, ISKCON didn't have a very good name in Jagannath Puri, so people were reluctant to give donations. So I couldn't get anything going in. So I met several times with him. The last time I was with Gaur Govinda Swami was 1995, right after Rath Yatra, or before Rath Yatra, in July. I think it was before Rath Yatra. I went there. I stayed 5-7 days in Bhubaneswar. He was there. That was the peak of Hari Katha and peak of the Prabhav. The high point of the influence of Gaur Govinda Swami is 1995. The next year, in 1996, on Bhaktisiddhanta's Tirva, the great saintly person, Gaur Govinda Swami, left to Goloka Vrindavan in 1996, 100th anniversary of Prabhupada, on that auspicious day in February, I believe. So we were there in 95, and there was hundreds of Western devotees living in the temple. And the Bhagavatam class would start at 9 o'clock and go till 12 o'clock. Breakfast was at 12 o'clock every day. And the class was 3 hours a day. Gaur Govinda Swami. Half the class was Aryan bhajans. So we got to see him lecture and feel his bhav. And I can say, I wrote something about him, or whatever little bhakti and devotion I have, I could feel that this person, this great Vaishnava, was truly a liberated, saintly person. He had all the symptoms of a Baba Bhakta. Whenever he would speak about Krishna, he was full of ecstasy and joy, and emanating such pure spiritual love for Radha Krishna. It was contagious. I noticed I usually sit a little bit away from the speaker. I don't sit very close. Everyone has their place they sit, like Babaji always sits there very fast. Everyone has their designated seats. They're not written, but their names are almost on them. He sits there, she sits there. Everyone sits in the same place every time because we're creatures of habit. That's okay. I am too. So I noticed that when class came, because the ladies were in the back or something, all the men were sitting right in front of the asana, as close as they could. They're all fighting, elbowing each other to get as close as they could to the asana. So after class, I asked them, why do you get so close? Why you're so close that you're all like sitting on top of each other. You know why we're so close? We're praying and hoping we get slapped by Guru Maharaj. We're hoping he'll give us a slap. He'll slap us. He'll ask us, hey Krishna, what's this verse? And if you don't know the verse, you don't want to watch him, he'll slap, you stupid, boom, you're gonna slap. So they're all sitting very close, so they get a slap from the guru. They don't. I saw it also. There's like 500 guys 2 feet from the outside. You know, it's totally packed. I can't even breathe. You know, so it was very close. Strong Guru Shishya Prem Sambandha, a loving mood of love and affection for the Guru and disciple. It's not like, you know, some temples, one devotee is 30 feet away from the speaker. Like when I give class in Karti, I'm in the yard. One guy's under that tree 40 meters away, one guy's 30 meters away. Nearest devotee is like 15 meters away from me, you know. Both door. And it was before COVID time also. Pre-COVID, PC, there's BC, AD and BC. BC is before COVID. BC usually means, you know, caveman time. BC. AD, you know. BC means before Christ, actually. BC. But modern BC means before COVID. No mask, no sanitizer, no mask, no 10 feet social distancing, all this jazz, you know. So, that's some question. What are we talking about?
Interaction with association with Gaudiya Vaisnava.
Oh yeah, Gaudiya Swami. And when he would speak, he'd file up next to near his house, and he had a table. We had 10 books there. 10 books. He quoted this book, that book, this book, that book. He was a real rustic pundit. What can I say? He favored me with his mercy. I would take eat with him sometimes. And one time we were there, and he said he's going to his village Gadagiri. He's going to some village to see sexy.
Deity of Gadagiri over there.
He has a Krishna deity, Gopal, I forget.
Yes, Gopal Jew.
Gopal Jew. Krishna deity, Gopal Jew, the flute. His family deity. That's family Thakur, Griha, you know, Kula Thakur. So he wanted to go there because he was building a temple, had a temple there. So he said, you give class. I said, how do I give class? 3-hour class, what is this? He said, tomorrow's class on Chaitanya Charita. It's okay. So I gave a 3-hour class. Without any bhajans. I didn't know any bhajans. So and then one day he said, why don't you go to Gadagiri? So one day I went there to Gadagiri, Madhavananda took me there. And there's some family members of Gaudiya Swami in that village. They came and sang Astakalya bhajans for me in a Risen language. And there was some guy named Pranam, or something begins with a P, friend of Madhavananda. He was translating English. And they sang a song in arena about how Krishna dressed up as a sannyasi, which is famously the Gaudiya Swami tells. And they sang, they had 5 or 6 devotees in their harmonium and kartals and mambras and stuff, and danga. Fantastic. It went on, started 8 o'clock at night, went till 12 o'clock or something. 2 nights, I was so happy about it. They said, you like us so much, we'll do it again tomorrow. So for 2 nights, they did Astakalya bhajans. I took notes and I gave talks on those leelas sometimes in Brajyatra. It was really fantastic. I have fond memories of Gaudiya Swami. He's one of my worshipable people I worship and pray for his mercy. He's a great saintly person. He's one of the great saints of Prabhupada's family. I can say that much. Shri Gaudiya Swami Maharaj ki jai. Yeah, it's okay, no problem. Oh, thank you very much. Thanks a lot. May Radharani bless you. Thank you. I'll see you again.
Увидите снова. Обязательно.
Yeah.
Surely.
Say right. Say right, Baba. Come back. Any questions? Last question. That question?
Yes.
That question?
Yeah, no. Yes.
You have your own net?
I have.
That's who's got a tie and net going on your side.
No, different person.
Okay. Russian or Italian? Very different. There's only Russians on this one.
She's asking what is the difference because she's like
Huh?
Shivaita.
What happened?
Time is 6 o'clock.
What time is it?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Holy shit. What do I do?
No, just
I turn into a pumpkin or something? It's a bolo.
She is asking what is the difference between Shiva and Shakti and Radha Krishna. She wants to know about what is the difference.
Shiva, Shakti, and Radha Krishna. What is the difference between Shiva, Shakti, and Radha Krishna? For Shaivites, there's no difference. For worshippers of Radha Krishna, there's a difference. That's enough. That's the answer. Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Jai Jai Sri